Who's Rep?
Hello everyone, welcome to another night of fantastic, exciting Overwatch action with us, UofT Esports. So tonight we are going to bring you the finals of the Canadian Esports Nationals, where UofT will be facing off against St. Clair's College. My name is Jack, and I will be casting with Justin, or Bantonio, tonight. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Jack. How are you?
I'm excited to get into another match of fantastic Overwatch gameplay. So let's get right into introducing your University of Toronto team.
So tonight, the UofT is rolling out with Barefoot on tank, Solus and Goofy Juber on DPS, Desperado, and Orange Peel on support.
Yes, of course, we're going to be playing this sort of dive style play style. We know, of course, that Barefoot is excellent on that Winston. We've got Desperado, a incredibly gifted honor. Orange Peel, he's going to be having, like, showing Kiriko here as well, but he also has an amazing Brigitte, as we all know. So, Justin, what else do you have to say about this team?
Well, you know, if you've been watching throughout our streams, we know how great these guys are. We know they all have that clutch factor. We've seen time and time again how well they can just show up in a match. Recently we've seen Solus and Eclipse farming in our games. You were captain one of those, weren't you, Jack?
Yes, I was. I had front row seats to watch University of Toronto take down Washington and Alberta, and there were tight matches. They were a tight match for a lot of them, but we walked away with 3-0 and 3-1 wins in each of those. So I have high hopes for this University of Toronto team.
Yes, that's right. I hope to see a very good showing of gameplay again today. We've seen how much Goofy Juba and Solus can do to the enemy backline as well. We know the Barefoot Primal, we are Winston School, right? So we've seen that Primal come out from Barefoot. We know that Orange Peel can just show up whenever he needs to and clutch up, even though he's a support player. So a lot of good players on our side. although we are going against St. Clair's College. What do you know about St. Clair's College, Jack?
Well, St. Clair's College, they most recently had a fantastic result in the collegiate homecoming event with NACE. They came second, just behind Illinois State University, which is essentially GK Esports in the OWCS. So they are a very tough school, and we have to see if University of Toronto is up for the challenge to upset this incredibly talented roster.
That's right. So tonight we have a BO5 series, which means the team that gets first 3 maps wins that series. Today we will be starting off with Nepal. What do you think about this, Jack?
I think this is a decent map. I think this is a well-practiced map for both teams, and this is a popular map to scrim. So I think that for the first map, we're just gonna get a feel for how each of these teams are going to play this. They're just going to stay on familiar ground, try out their team comps. Maybe we'll see some. We'll probably see some Winston rolling out from the University of Toronto. I'm personally not too familiar with how St. Clair College plays, but I think I'm excited to see what each of these teams come up with and see how it goes.
That's right. Very exciting game ahead of us right now, right? We've seen.
Yeah.
We've seen together the OWCS final, Jack.
Yes.
We've seen Nepal show up in that game as well. Bit of a wonder, will St. Clair's College roll out with the Symmetra like we've seen in the OWCS finals?
I could totally see that. Of course, this is, as we've previously mentioned, this is a very talented squad, so maybe they have seen how the meta has been shifting around this the top level of competitive Overwatch, and maybe they'll try to emulate that against our University of Toronto squad today. There's certainly no doubt that they might try to play the meta to their best advantage today.
That's right. Quite exciting. Very anticipated match. You know, it is a final. Hopefully UofT can show us an upset of the year, I'd say, and end the year off with a great W. And hopefully we go into the match soon.
Yes. I think there's just a small hold up, but I think we'll be entering the match very, very soon.
All right, so we are heading in. So Nepal, interesting map, Jack. It's this on this point though. What are the key points of this map, Jack?
Well, I think we're obviously going to see the first initial Symmetra TP out onto. Let's see if they could take the high ground first. It's depending on what their team comps are going to be. Looks like they're flashing a Winston, just a Winston Echo situation. We saw this from their previous performances against Washington and Alberta in this competition. So this is a team comp that they're familiar with, but looking over to the other side, it looks like a very similar team comp potentially. Let's see what they swap off the sim to, but instead of a Winston, they're electing to go for a Hazard here. Let's see what the Symmetra swap to. They're both going Tracer. It is the same team comp, except we have a Winston and a Hazard.
That's right, the Hazard going in deep onto UofT's backline. Barefoot on Winston, and Mao Solus on that Echo, trying to take care of the off angles there. Being caught, does get caught off by the Tracer of St. Clair's, and UofT trying to quickly disengage from the fight. They do not want to take too much damage and not be able to return to the fight quick enough.
Yes, we saw the Hazard and St. Clair take the high ground over next to the point, but we had Barefoot try to stay on top of the point, and just in that engage, Solus got caught out in the middle there, and now they're just looking for their second recontest here.
That's right, UofT taking more angles. Barefoot on that Tracer does get that kill. St. Clair's College now down 4-5. Barefoot jumping on the Echo. Does burst the Echo up quickly. And UofT dominating in this team fight. Securing the kills that they required. Trying to get a confirmed kill on the Hazard as well now. And will finish up the fight with capping this point.
Oh, looks like they're trying to turn this around. Red X gets 2 there with a headshot, but it is not to be, and UofT finally gets the first flip of the map. Let's see if we can look for any more staggers here, but now it looks like just for a couple seconds here, St. Clair could have a bit of an advantage, just a small advantage, as we see if UofT can make it back to the point.
That's right, UofT does team up the kill onto Kiriko. Now, St. Clair's down in terms of supports. However, tired. Oh, Tread, sorry, not tired. I'm the one that's tired. Tread getting that kill onto the backside.
Ultimate there and just catches.
Having to disengage with the lack of supports. They are all gonna get cleaned up. An unfortunate teamback for UofT. Giving the flip and having to lose a lot of progress.
Yeah, they did. Looks like they just only invested the Hazard ultimate, the downpour, onto I believe it was Orange Peel there, or one of these ports on the UofT side, and just to confirm 1 kill, and now just a 4 ultimate versus 5 ultimate situation, but still will be a tricky fight into for University of Toronto here.
Barefoot trying to go in, gets stuck by the Tracer, but the Primal Rage on 99%. Solus go falling very low, having to ult mid-air, but Defragger with the kill onto the enemy Kiriko, and UofT leading in terms of the kill score, leading in terms of the number of players they have alive, will get those kills that they needed. Barefoot is forced on the Primal, however, a lot of ults very invested from the side of UofT.
Okay.
However, it is very much needed, as they needed that flip on that point and wins that team fight.
Yes, they're already on 87% here. It will be a difficult. They really try not to flip this over. If it ever gets flipped over, that's going to be a very, that's going to be a rush team fight right there. But both supports use both their ultimates in that team fight, so it will be mostly even in terms of, an ultimate fight here.
That's right. In the meantime, UofT and St. Clair's Noxious just skirmishing it out in the point, trying to force out the enemy Tracer from that
Echo
point.
copy.
Enemy team Echo pushing in onto our backline. The Wuyang falling dangerously low. Does get the kill with the Hazard. UofT falling dangerously low. They're missing one of their supports. The Echo also falls. It is not looking good for UofT. And Goofy Juba trying his best to hold that point, but cannot.
Barefoot gets a kill.
Yes, unfortunately, however, points still on the side of St. Clair's, and they will get that final kill onto Barefoot. No one to touch the point, and the point does go to the side of St. Clair's College.
Yeah, I think, yes, of course, we applied a little bit of pressure there, and unfortunately, UofT had to surrender possession of the point there for a brief moment, and given that St. Clair had already given themselves 80% or more, they had to have a rushed fight trying to come back in, and then they just got slowly picked off, and they had ultimates to spare even. Let's see if University of Toronto can turn it back around here. Slightly different map, a little bit less of a high ground situation, but even then, it felt like most of the points were happening just sort of in a concentrated around point there. So let's see if these teams approach it any differently.
That's right. This time, Noxious on the Sojourn. With the long slide dance on this map, the Sojourn can get immense value here. Barefoot already forced out that bubble, a key cooldown for Winston. The Sojourn falling low, however, but continues to put on pressure. Defrado hitting those very important headshots onto the enemy team. Now UofT looking to see if they can get more pressure onto their backline. However, Solus falls first, and it is not looking good for the side of UofT. Goofy Juber falls as well. UofT missing both DPS are now going to be forced out of the map.
Yeah, just looking for that poke phase there, and then a small engage. Unfortunately, it goes south when Solus gets picked off, and now they're just looking for a quick reset here, trying to back out and look for a re-engage.
That's right, same
Still no ultimates from either team. So it's just gonna be a raw fight, more poking around, trying to get cooldowns out as UofT tries to engage, and they try to hold up close at this first choke point here.
Right. Goofy Juber kind of going to the back line. In the meantime, however, Orange Kill does fall. Verfu also falls to the enemy tank. And once again, UofT just getting caught when they're trying to enter.
Yep.
And unfortunately does fall quickly.
Yeah, Noxious hits a key headshot there, and they have to back out and just look for the next team fight.
The Sojourn just showing up big here. The pressure from the Sojourn with the long sidelines is just immense from the side of St. Clair's. Verfu just trying to see if it can do more on that sideline, trying to provide more pressure. However, very difficult for the Winston as he does not have that much of a strong power when it comes to just 1v1s. The Sojourn sitting at 80% ult charge. Verfu trying his best to push out the side. The Wuyan ult, the bubble invested from the side of St. Clair's gets the kill onto Goofy Juber again. UofT falling low, once again falling down in terms of numbers once again. The Curio invested by Desperado, but won't be enough as the Echo on that Winston gets a Primal Rages out as well and will kill Desperado. UofT just not able to get another teamfight win on the side. Verfu with the Primal Rage gets the kill onto Sojourn, but it won't be enough.
It looks like just they haven't really been able to get back onto this point here. Verfu does kill 2. It looks like they can look for some sort of overtime stall here. Maybe wait for the Wuyan ultimate to come back. Maybe look for a big play just to dive the back line. Desperado gets a key headshot onto Soaks there on the Wuyan, and maybe, just maybe, it looks like UT can finally get some percentage on the point here.
UofT finally successfully getting the teamfight win they wanted the entire map. Solus on the Tracer now with the swap. Does have the pulse bomb ready. I think they're just seeing if they can start entering again. The bubble invested from the side of UofT gets 1.
It's good.
And look at the very good teamfight. However, the Soldier from the Noxious gets 2. How do you find more? Solus trying his best to get that kill on the Sojourn. However, it's Desperado who kills that Sojourn on the enemy team. And UofT can continue on this fight.
They hold on. I mean, it got really scary there for a second. I'm not quite sure how you get 2 with the E there. I'm not sure how everyone dropped so low, but Desperado with some key kills there just to even up the fight and keep UofT's hopes alive here on the ball.
In the meantime,
St. Clair is starting to make their way onto the point. Goofy Juber gets caught out by the hazard. Verfu does trade it back, and now he's just hiding within his bubble, but the healing doesn't come quite in time. And now it looks like this is going to be a desperation hold from University of Toronto. Desperado dies with 94% of his ultimate, and now that looks like it's going to be the end of Nepal. And now it's back to the drawing board for UofT. Let's see where they take us and see what how they think they can bring this back in the next map.
unfortunate map for UofT here. A valiant showing of skill and mechanics. Amazing plays from Defrado and Solus. However, it wasn't enough to keep them in the fight. However, UofT does keep showing us the promise, shows us that they have the potential to win those fights. It just is one or two moments from the side of St. Clair's where they're able to just clutch up the fight. But UofT just needs to find an answer to those picks, right? We know how good these players are, and we'll just have to keep believing in them, right?
Yeah, they were holding up that. They were holding up at that front, not really letting UFC get onto the point at all. Took some heroics, some individual heroics. Bearfu with the primal just to touch the point there, just to get a little bit of percentage. But it does seem like it's this is a let's be frank, a closer fight than it could be, given that this is a team that came second overall of all the schools in North America. So let's see if the University of Toronto can go back to the drawing board and get some more ideas on the table here. And now and we'll see where they take us next.
That's right. It seems like they will be taking us to Kings Row, I believe. That's what I'm being told at the moment. Kings Row, a very classical map.
Yeah.
What do you think of this map, Jack?
Yeah, well practiced. They played this map a lot in this competition so far, at least I've seen. Um, some key heroics from the team turn lost fights around. So maybe we can see some more of that clutch factor to bring this back, bring the series closer, and see if we can take this map off and make it a 1-1 series.
That's right, and UofT banning that D.Va out here. From the side of St. Clair's, they are banning the Kiri. It's quite an interesting ban in general. What do you think of the D.Va ban from the side of UofT?
I think the D.Va ban gives them a little bit, perhaps it doubles up as perhaps a tank protect. That means that they get to play whatever tank they want. May that be Winston, may that be something else, or maybe just trying to take the D.Va out of the equation in terms of if they're looking for a dive matchup. BO5 will be able to mirror on his most comfortable hero.
Yes, and we see Goofy Juber on that Widow. It seems like he's just looking to get 1 or 2 picks in the early game if possible. On the side of St. Clair's, we see Noxious on that Ashe. We've seen him pop off on the Sojourn just earlier. So it'll be interesting to see the battle between the hit scans this time. BO5 sitting on that Winston. And once again, we see our signature pick, the Mercy. We know how much Orange Peel favors it, so let's see how much value the Mercy can get here. First shot missed, unfortunately.
Maybe they're crazy raccoons. Maybe they're just gonna whip out the Pharah here and just sweep. You never know.
That's true. That's true. Although a bit worrying is that CR did not make the finals, so hopefully.
Let's not jinx them.
Yeah, let's not jinx them with that. For now, it's just an early game skirmish going through from both sides. BO5 just trying to take that high ground space. Solus on the flank, just pressuring out the enemy Tracer. The enemy Tracer forced out the recall as well. Now BO5 in that room in the Mega, being forced out by the Tracer. But the side of St. Clair's decide to just push on to the rotating members of UofT. Very good save coming out from the side of Defrado. BO5 also coming by to ensure his backline can survive. The enemy. The hazard of the side of St. Clair's falling very low, and Goofy Juber gets that kill on to the Ashe. However, it is traded out by the kill onto the Wuyan. And the Defrado, falling very low, does get the sleep, however, cannot survive. UofT, realizing they do not have supports, are trying their best to get out without any more casualties.
Yeah, despite the good first pick there, St. Clair turns it around very well. Great discipline, you know, looking for just jumps on their backline, cut off their backline, kind of stuff Defrado in a corner there, and now both Solix does get a pick though, so maybe we have another opening here.
The enemy's Tracer does fall from that fight. Solus, very good kill catch. They're realizing he's very low. The Echo diving in with the E. Very low, however. Can UofT punish this? UofT will punish it. However, the rest of the members of St. Clair's is way too healthy. Solus goes for a play here. Gets one with his blade. But however, cannot find more. But St. Clair's still forced out, realizing they don't have their back. A very powerful member of their backline. Bubble committed by the side of St. Clair's. Very good sleep on the side of Defrado, but does get finished off by the Tracer. Wuyan does get a kill, however. It's a very close team fight at the moment. Can go either way. UofT members still very low. Wuyan,
it's just
however,
support for support. Oh,
but the Tracer does connect the kill, and it seems like the fight is over now for the side of UofT. St. Clair's once again winning that fight.
They do invest. Both tanks invest their ultimates here. They think they can keep the fight going here.
UofT knowing that they
UofT
are.
gets a take out of it.
That's right. And UofT knowing that they are the ones closer to the spawn, know that they can come back faster. Nano Winston is committed. The Wuyan running away quickly, but St. Clair's is very well split. The fight
Juba gets
is
it.
looking good for the side of UofT at the moment. Echo does copy the Winston on to UofT's backline. The Wuyang and the Ana pretty healthy at the moment. Wuyang, however, falling very low, half HP on the Tracer. However, the Echo can't chase him. In the meantime,
Can't
Verfu
quite get the primal off.
bit too low, but the Echo, the persistent chase from Echo pays off at the end eventually. The kills do come out from the side of St. Clair's. Verfu, once again, the sole survivor from that fight, running away to spawn. Not looking good for UofT at the moment. Only 20 seconds left.
Yeah, only 20 seconds left. They do get two ticks and almost a third out of it, but St. Clair does bring it back and manage to retouch. And the Tracer goes down, which means it's going to be a very difficult touch as Verfu tries to force himself onto the point and just dies for it.
Unfortunate first pick, UofT, but knowing that they have to continue to fight, invest everything they can. They're doing everything they can in their power to continue this fight. But unfortunately, it is only one pick that they can secure. And it seems like St. Clair's will successfully defend that first point.
Toronto looking for a first point hold to get themselves on the board here, but quite rough there. I think there's certainly some winnable fights there. Good big investments to think that they could possibly close it out, but yeah, St. Clair is really knowing what their win conditions are, really knowing what their limits are. They, hang back. They hang back, yet also invest ultimates when they need to, and they manage to hold them off to just 2 ticks. And we'll see how they do on their offense here.
That's right. UofT still deciding to roll out with the similar comp that they did earlier. The Genji from Solus and the Tracer from Goofy Juber, getting those kill catches when they can. They're showing us that they have the skills to continue on that pressure onto the backline of St. Clair's. However, it's not enough at the moment. They must find answers to the dives from the side of St. Clair's. Defrado and Orange Peel doing their best to kite out. We've seen how well they're able to just run away from the persistent chases from the side of St. Clair's, but it's just not enough at the moment, right?
Yeah. It just looks like they're just going for these backline trades that are just coming up St. Clair more often than not. But it looks like a big TP engage here as they try to clear something out. Wuyang drops low, but it's Solus who goes down. And now they're... And Tracer goes down to the Reaper here, and it looks like might be a quick cap for St. Clair here. Verfu goes down, and I don't know if they can retouch this, Justin.
It's a very quick fight from the side of St. Clair. Orange Peel does secure that kill, but it's also very low. UofT still trying to look for that recontest. They know they can still try it. Goofy Juba going in first for the touch. But is the first one to fall as well. And St. Clair's with a very interesting symmetric comp. But Solus with the first pick onto the enemy Reaper. Verfu going in knowing that they have the Reaper advantage, but the Reaper does fall from the side of UofT again. And the Wuyang, isolated from his main team, will fall. And St. Clair's will take map 2 as well.
Match point for St. Clair here. Difficult for University of Toronto here. They're just the Sim TP kind of breaks the set play with the hazard wall there, breaks the point wide open. They get a pick out of it, and UofT isn't able to recontest it. Here we see just the play of the game where they get picked off, but they have the presence of mind to look for their backline, look for a big wall, and from there they're not able to continue the push. Well played from St. Clair all around, and let's see if maybe, just maybe, if UofT can bring about this reverse sweep. Maybe just start a little bit of that reverse sweep.
That's right. It could just be a setup for that reverse sweep. We all know the amazing feeling when you get that reverse sweep. So, who knows? UofT just setting up for that reverse sweep. they might be able to successfully do it.
cinematic.
Yeah, it's about it's absolute cinema, right? We we know how fun it is. We know how amazing and enjoyable it will be for our viewers as well. And clearly, you know, UofT players understanding that they're trying to set up for that, right?
Yep.
So now
It's-
we are.
you know, they're just making a good show for everyone.
That's right. That's right. It's about entertainment, right? That's the whole point. So right now, I'm getting words that we are going to Servasa for map 3. Um, and UofT will pull out the ban on that sim. Quite interesting ban in general. St. Clair's haven't been playing that Symmetra in map 1 at all, where we've seen time and time again how strong the Symmetra can be on Nepal as well. So a bit interesting pick ban from the side of UofT. St. Clair's, they did not like the way that UofT was playing on that Winston. They also understand that Winston is just UofT is just Winston school, so they're banning that Winston off from the side of UofT. Interesting bans coming out from both sides. What do you think of this map?
I think that looks like, despite the sim ban, I think we're looking for probably still a sort of grounded brawl comp from UofT now that they've lost the Winston.
That's right.
But I mean, they could match the hazard possibly. There's still a diva in play. I'm not too sure actually.
Yeah, and you know, there's a lot of possibilities. We do know that Winston is the strength of Barefoot. However, we also know how strong Barefoot can be on that tank role in general. The amazing picks that he sometimes pulls out of his pockets.
Yeah.
We know the potential he has. We know the level he can show us. And this time it seems like he will start off with Zarya. We know how strong Zarya can be. So it'll be a very interesting match. UofT this time deciding to get rid of the Genji in their comp. They're deciding to go with the classical Zarya Reaper combination.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. You know, you lose your main, you pivot to another more grounded brawl sort of situation. Of course, you can't really play. Would have maybe liked to play some Ramacha and Sim here, but given there's no Sim, I think Zarya Reaper makes a lot of sense here.
That's right. Quite interesting with the Light Weaver pick. You usually don't really see Light Weaver in general. We haven't really seen Light Weaver come out in OWCS that much either. Very interesting pick. And let's see how it comes out. UofT just wrapping around the side here, trying to set up for a fight. The Soldier just zoning out UofT, however.
Gufu does drop low. Gufu does drop low.
The Zarya and the Reaper just gets bursted out quickly. And this time, the Light Weaver just using the grip to reposition his tank to the enemy flanks as well. At first, we weren't sure how the Light Weaver pick's gonna play out, but it seems like it's worked out for the side of St. Clair's.
Yeah. They just take some good angles on the high ground, makes it difficult for Barefoot to walk, and they're still holding this spawn doors. Solus does get a trade, so maybe that once respawns come through, they will be able to walk out at least, but oh, maybe not. That is a big stagger there. So let's now, the points are already ticked up to 50%. Let's see if UofT can try to make it to points, try and contest this first point here on Servasa.
Very difficult fight at the moment. The Hazard is continuing on that pressure in the front. Amazing wall from him again. And it's UofT just sitting there, not being able to do anything against this. Solus trying to look for angles on the side, but it just continuously forced out by that Echo. And it's the Hazard just showing up so much onto the enemy backline, onto UofT's backline, and UofT just not being able to answer it at the moment.
First positioning on that first point to squeeze them out and force them to lose the fight, and now just a close hold, which means that UofT's ult economy is not looking too fantastic, while St. Clair is looking at 5 ultimates here. Let's see how they choose to use him in this next fight.
Bubble invested from the side of UofT first.
Wuyang Jack's one of them, looks like.
That's right. UofT did ensure that Wuyang ult does not take any value here. Barefoot just trying to see if he can walk into point. Unfortunately, not connect the kill onto the Echo here. ult used it as well, and it's a Sojourn that just shows up big from the side. And just the ult charge difference.
I think you take that as UofT. I do think
That's
you take
true.
that. That's
It's
5
the
ultimates.
ult
That's all
charge
of them.
difference from the side of St. Clair's, right? UofT, they did their best out of that disadvantageous fight. It's just one ult for 5 ults. It's a trade that you take every day, right?
Yeah. I think now you walk back into this with Grav, maybe. Solus unfortunately goes down, but I think just after a regroup, you can go back into this with your Kiriko ultimate and your Grav just to try and see if you can make anything happen.
That's right. The Kiri...
Oh, Stagger's still coming through though.
Invested
But they
quickly.
do choose to engage with this Grav here. 2 go down. They try to see if we can take this hazard out before he gets back to his team. But it seems like he does live. But BO5 starts taking space for his team, and looks like they're trying to clean up and get some presence on the point finally.
So UofT finally can secure a cap onto point for this map. First time for the side of UofT. Very well done. Good grab from the side of BO5. Touching that enemy backline was very crucial for that fight. And UofT, despite the disadvantage ult situation earlier, is able to capitalize on the overuse of ultimates from the side of St. Clair's. Now UofT just trying to see if they can continue that pressure on this point so they can just tie up the map score.
Yeah, early bubble here to open up the point just to force it to back up. UofT still has double DPS ultimates against their double support ults. Solus does go down, but it's traded out for soaks on the enemy team. But it looks like St. Clair is coming out on top in this exchange, and we'll see if UofT choose to go for a forced final touch here.
That's right. At 90%, Flashpoint does cap really quickly. It does not seem that UofT can try to get for a touch. However, they will be able to get those picks. Unfortunately, Solus does fall to that Sojourn. And this, once again, it's the Life Steal from the Life Weaver that just saves his tank. We've seen... It's a very unorthodox pick in general. We've never seen Life Weaver come out that much, but we can kind of see the philosophy behind that pick at the moment. UofT kind of trying to see if they can get a pick back onto the Echo that was overextended, but the Sojourn here just help out her Echo. UofT just trying to see if they can get early skirmishes. Very difficult at the moment. However, the Sojourn did slide in. That is the death sentence for the side of St. Clair's. UofT just allowing St. Clair's to cap point first. They're just telling them that you can take the point. We will get the stagger kills onto your team, so we can force out a very advantageous team fight for us.
Yes, let's see if UofT make it back to the point fast in time to take this power play here. Oh, looks like a bubble goes through for Tread, and he picks off Gooby Juber, but Deferato makes hits back with his Kitsune Rush, and Solus trades back with a copied Echo right click. And Solus gets 2 in this fight, and looks like they can finally establish themselves on this point here. Great play by Solus.
Amazing overclock from Solus. The copy just showing the value once again. However, falls very, very quickly. The burst from the hazard just instantly destroys Solus here, and it's just Deferato left alone in the enemy backline. They've chased too far in and has no way to get out. Luckily for him though, it seems like St. Clair's has given up on the pursuit. They know that the Deferato cannot return to the fight quickly. But it's this time, it's Solus that finds the first pick. It's the hazard that's very deep into the enemy line.
Grab? Yeah.
And a lot of cooldowns committed from the side of St. Clair's. They will fall this time, and UofT managed to return and get that cap onto the point. It is 85 to 44, but there is enough chances for UofT to take this point this time. Trying to take that forward position. UofT, in terms of ult charge, are however behind. St. Clair's sitting with 3 ultimates in their bank. Fred just walking up, taking that space on the side. UofT just taking a bit more of a defensive position, but Solus is the one that falls off the map and overclock. And the copy of the Echo committed as well. Vertical very low, will eventually fall. And the point is flipped for the side of St. Clair's. Defrado does get a trade, but there are no members of the side of UofT that could try and get touched. And unfortunately, UofT will lose this point as well. And that is map 3.
Yep.
That goes to side of
That is
St.
map 3.
Clair's and will be the series that goes to side of St. Clair's as well. Well done to UofT, a valiant showing. They did what they could. They tried their best, changed the comps that they and tried things that they have never done. But unfortunately, they could not beat St. Clair's this time.
And yeah, I mean, of course, this was going to be a difficult map to go into from the beginning. So a good try against the nominally the second best team in North America here, second best collegiate team in North America. So a great try from University of Toronto, and I hope you all give them a hand for a good showing.
That's right.
That being
Amazing.
said, Justin,
amazing gameplay.
we do have some things to discuss here.
Oh,
do you have
right.
How are you?
Thank you for reminding me, Jack.
Yes.
I almost forgot. You know, it's quite a busy season nowadays, and you know, it's about the time of the year where you want to focus, right? And to help you focus on what's important, BMO has checking and savings accounts, credit cards, and borrowing options specifically designed for students. Open a BMO student account and get up to $950 in value, including $175 cash with BMO's current student offers. Visit bmo.com/students for detail.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you to BMO for sponsoring this segment, and we please do visit the website for more information. With that being said, thank you all for watching today.
Oh, aren't you forgetting something, Jack?
Oh. Okay. Sorry. It looks like okay. I have more information to tell everybody. BMO Next Level is a first-of-its-kind program dedicated to helping gamers level up in-game and IRL. Run by Sean Frame, BMO's gaming relations specialist. Sean brings a commitment to helping viewers achieve their financial goals and has a passion for gaming as an active member of the gaming community. Follow their channels at https://linktree/BMO Next Level. That's spelled BMONXTLVL.
That's right. And thank you all for joining us tonight. Unfortunate that UofT did not secure the win in the final. You know, great potential for a reverse sweep upset, but they just fell short tonight. And it is St. Clair's that they did go against. So hats off to St. Clair's. Well done, and congratulations for winning the Canadian Esports Nationals. And thank you all for joining us tonight.
Yes. Thank you all for supporting your silver medal University of Toronto Esports team. And we hope to see you all very, very soon for our next broadcast.